Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today we need to talk about Battlefield 5. That's right, Battlefield, in case for some of you maybe aren't familiar, Battlefield is probably one of my favorite franchises of all time. However, in recent years they have really slid off and just kind of gone to shit, if I can be completely honest and frank. The games have gotten progressively worse year after year after year, although they kind of had a little bit of a rebound after Battlefield Hardline, which I think most of us can probably consider the worst Battlefield that has ever been released. It got a little bit better after that. BF1 and BF5 are a smidge better. However, the way that these games have been put out and the way that they are basically nothing like Battlefield 3 or the previous Battlefield games before it, and having completely shit upgrade systems, particularly in Battlefield 5, which is basically ripped out from the Star Wars Battlefront series in the way that the upgrade and progression system works. The Battlefield series, to me, currently is pretty much DOA. It's RIP. Rest in peace, Battlefield. But first, today's video is brought to you by LevelGo.com, where you could save money on games for all of your favorite platforms, as well as software like Windows 10 Pro for under $16, Microsoft Office 2016 for $40, and Microsoft Office 2019 Professional Plus for under $80. And if you use my code PTL20 at checkout, you'll get 20% off of Windows 10 Pro, or you can use the code PTL15 to get 15% off of the entire website when you use the links down in the description below. So back when Battlefield 5 came out, I was kind of excited for this game to come out, although I was kind of not really too sure what to expect, especially coming on the back of Star Wars Battlefront 2. I expected this to pretty much be the same microtransaction-riddled nonsense. However, EA was pretty adamant about the fact that this game was not going to have any premium pass, or paid DLC, or paid expansions, or anything of the like. There are multiple articles going all the way back to around this time last year, where Electronic Arts was basically saying that they weren't going to have any of this type of stuff, kind of, playing on the fact that they had learned their lesson from Battlefront 2, and it's not going to, go into the same pitfalls that happened with that game, and it's definitely been better than, Star Wars Battlefront 2. However, it hasn't taken them very long to slip back on that promise and bring in microtransactions in the form of a premium currency, which is available now today in the latest update of the game, bringing in basically the Battlefield currency, which is a 1-to-1 ratio compared to actual real-world currency. And what I mean by that is that if you buy, 750 Battlefield currency, it's the equivalent of $7.50 in real-world money, and that would basically get you one weapon skin, $7.50 for a fucking gun skin. It's just, basically going back on all the promises that they had made previously, and they're bringing in the microtransactions for, the skins in the game, because now they have Firestorm, which is like their free-to-play Battle Royale mode, which is not free-to-play at all, because you got to pay the $60 to get into the fucking game. Although you could have Origin Premiere, that's definitely a possibility. The fact remains is that you're going to have to pay through the nose if you want to get some of these skins, whether it be for your weapon or your character or whatever. And some of these skins and things like that and cosmetics in the game are earnable through the company coin system. However, there are some that are hidden behind a paywall. They can only be unlocked if you are willing to fork out money to buy the Battlefield currency so that you can get these items in the game. And of course, we should have expected this. We should have seen it coming all along, because after all, this is EA. This is Electronic Arts. How could we have not seen this coming, that they were going to input a form of premium currency into Battlefield 5 so that they can milk users for every fucking cent that they're worth. So of course it's in the game now, and yeah, if you want to get some of these skins and items in Battlefield 5, you're going to have to pay for it with real-world currency, because not all of them are obtainable through actually just playing and grinding through the game, which would have also been really bad. But this is just actually worse. And some people are going to say, oh, well, they're only cosmetic items. Well, yeah, but still, people are paying $60 for this game. People they seem to stop realizing that this is basically the free-to-play model. However, the game isn't fucking free. So you don't get the same leeway that you would if the game cost absolutely zero. It costs $60 just to get access to the game, and then they have these transactions on top of it that are milking the consumer. So EA, in other news, is being EA. I know I'm pretty much, breaking down your fucking walls there with that information, but EA is basically being EA with these microtransactions. Now, they've also put out some patch notes on the latest update for the PC version, which I kind of wanted to talk about as a secondary story, because there are some general improvements for the PC version of the game, although it doesn't really seem that many people are playing it. I tried logging into the Firestorm mode, either in solo and in squads, and it literally took me 15 minutes to find a match. It took that long to find a game because nobody gives a fucking shit about Battlefield 5 anymore. I mean, the game is, like 5 months old, and everyone's already pretty much moved on from it because it's a complete pile of dog shit. However, they have brought in some new improvements for this in case you happen to care. They've basically taken DXR Ultra, which is ray tracing. And if you remember back when BF5 first launched ray tracing support, was it in November or December, it was really difficult to run, and their response to that was to basically remove a lot of the reflections from the game, which were really hard to run. However, now they are adding them back in, and they've also improved DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling quality in the game, and also made it available in borderless windowed mode if that's something that you did want to take advantage of. And also improve the sharpness of DLSS, which was one of the major complaints that pretty much everyone made, as well as in that, was that, at launch DLSS was a just straight up blur mess in BF5. Is that a word, blur mess? I don't know. I'm gonna use it anyway. It's a messy fucking blur. But they've improved a lot on it, so I will give them that. They've improved DLSS. And they're basically increasing the DXR Ultra factors and improving the reflection qualities on DXR using ray tracing on RTX graphics cards. But yeah, it doesn't really take away from the fact that this game is now a microtransaction-riddled mess, especially if you want to take advantage of the Battle Royale mode, which, in and of itself is pretty good. However, on the PC, it's kind of hard to find a match, if I'm being perfectly honest. Maybe your experience has been different, but in the time that I spent on it this morning, I was trying to find a match. It took me so long to get into a match that I would have just given up on it. And even on PUBG, which is now it's kind of far down the totem pole as far as Battle Royale modes are concerned. I mean, if you go on Apex Legends or Fortnite or, pretty much anything else, that you pretty much get into a match almost instantly. Even on something like PUBG, which is a little bit older and has been surpassed a long time ago by games like Fortnite, you can get into those games basically instantly. However, on this, it took 10 to 15 minutes for me to get into a match, which is I just wanted to quit, but I also wanted to get footage of the game for this video, so I was kind of bound by that. But if I was just personally playing it for myself, after 5 minutes of trying to get into a lobby, probably even sooner than that, I would have just Alt F4'd out of the fucking game and went and played something else like The Division 2. So yeah, that's pretty much the state of BF5 right now. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and what you think about the microtransactions and everything in this game. Let me know. It's a complete mess. BF5 is a complete pile of shit. DICE is a pile of shit. BioWare is a pile of shit. EA in general is a complete and utter pile of shit. And I personally would love to see nothing more than to see them pull themselves out of this. I love a lot of the games from EA. Dead Space comes to mind. Absolutely love Dead Space. Right up until Dead Space 3, where Electronic Arts ruined it. Loved BioWare games like the Mass Effect series until they got ruined by EA, and then BioWare themselves now, I can't really even blame them for having so many of their talented people leaving the company so that they can work on other projects, probably because of EA, which led to the failure of things like Anthem, and also DICE, which has, I think, is probably the worst case scenario here, where so many of their games have been hidden behind these microtransactions and paywalls and things like that, even though their games had been so good in the past. I just really want to see them get back to the glory days of things like Bad Company 2, BF3, as well as BF4. But in the past, 5, 6, maybe even more years than that. It's just been a complete and utter fucking train wreck, which has been derailed by EA in most of those situations. So hopefully it does get better, but I don't know if I really see that happening. But I'd love to see it though, because Bad Company 2 was probably one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time. I think I spent more time on that game than any other multiplayer game ever in the history of my entire gaming library, or whatever you want to call it. You know, multiplayer games that I've been playing going all the way back to like Duke Nukem 3D, playing it over a phone line where I literally took a phone and had to put it onto a modem to be able to call one of my friends and play 1v1s of Duke Nukem 3D. One of my first ever multiplayer experiences over the internet. And, you know, Bad Company 2 is one of my favorite games. So I would love to see them get back to that and not be influenced by EA with their microtransactions and DLC bullshit, which they are clearly now trying to inject into BF5 because sales have not been as good as they would have hoped, which many outlets have reported on. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out here, guys. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, I look forward to that feedback. And leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're not already, and if you've been here for a while, go ahead and ring the notification bell. That way you never miss a moment of content here on the channel. And I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Ta-ra. And fuck you, EA.